Alright, Tactical Jason, we got the knife finished. Now we have to make a sheath so you don't cut yourself. Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, welcome. Consider hitting that subscribe button. Make sure to hit that like button, it really helps the channel grow. In today's video, I'm going to be showing how I make my kydex sheaths. I just recently finished up this compact camp chef knife for a customer. And what I'm going to be using is kydex. You can find kydex and all this stuff on Amazon very easily. There's a ton of options out there. So first up, we got our sheet of kydex. Then we got, and this little punch and piece here is what's going to be forming the rivets to the sheath. You pretty much put this underneath, put your sheath on top with your hole drilled, put your rivet in there, and then this on there, and then you hammer the top. Now when I got this in a kit. It came with the punch and I believe 100 of the little eyelets. So the eyelets and the punch thing will come as a kit. And then over here I got, then also on Amazon, I got these metal clips. Came in an 8-pack. That way you can do nice little EDC belt clips. Got the little hook on there. They actually work really good. It's got really good rigidness to it. And then that also came with the little rubber washers and the threaded screw parts to attach those. Like here's one of the little neck knives that I make. You can wear around your neck. And then also I space them out so you can put these on here like this in different orientations, however you want it. So that way you can wear it as a neck knife or keep it in your pocket. And this one's really cool. One of my designs. Follow me on Instagram if you're interested in anything. I will be having a bunch of these up for sale soon. So there's a couple different ways you can do it. You can do 2 pieces, like one on top, one on bottom, and then rivet it on both sides like this one. Or you can do a taco style sheath, which this folds around the knife like this. So it's just completely closed off on that side. This was actually the first sheath that I made. A little EDC knife I made for myself to carry. This is like the same style as that neck knife, but this is more of a full size. So for this one, I'm going to do the first style I showed you with a piece on top and bottom, and then rivet all the way around it. And also stay tuned towards the end of the video. I have a special package here I'm going to be opening up that was sent out to me. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do is take your sheet of kydex. I usually flip it over, like there's texture on this side, and this is the side you want on the outside. I will flip it over to the smooth side and then mark off with the Sharpie on this side. So what you're going to want to do is place the knife on there and kind of draw out around. I usually leave about an inch or so, maybe a little more of space around the whole outside. And you want to make sure you get the handle far enough in so that this part is gripping this part of your handle here. So I have this drawn out about like that. This should be plenty enough space, and then you can always just trim this down and shape it after you get it all clamped together. So now I have this drawn out. I'm going to cut this out, and then I'll put this over on this side and then trace it. So I have 2 pieces like this that are exactly the same. Alright, now I have these 2 pieces cut out. That leaves me just enough room around the edges. And if you're just starting out, and if this is like your first one, I would go a little wider around the edges just in case when you put it in there in the press, if you don't get it just right, you'll still have room to work with. I've done a couple of these now, so I'm confident doing it this way so I don't waste as much material. And there's a few different ways you can put these, like in an actual oven or use a toaster oven. And what I did before was I have this like little space heater, and I put them on top of the space heater because it has a metal grate on it, and then I covered it with like a piece of sheet metal and kind of used like a torch to heat it up. It's a little crude, but it worked before. But now I have a little toaster oven that I use, so that can get it up to the temperature it needs. And you want this to be really flexible and get it pretty warm without melting it. That way it forms around the knife. Time to fire up the toaster oven. Alright, I'm going to take this time while the little toaster oven is heating up to open up this package. Grumpy GI Gear contacted me not too long ago and asked me if I would like a t-shirt, because they make a lot of really cool t-shirt designs and they have other stuff for sale as well. I'm going to leave links to their website in the description of the video, so make sure to check them out. Veteran-owned company, which is awesome.
Isn't this America? I'm sorry, I thought this was America.
Alright, let's open it up and see what's in there. Alright, that's better. Alright, so we got pretty sweet little bumper sticker. Got a cool pen with their little logo, Grumpy GI Gear, a little American flag. That's funny because I was just looking for a pen yesterday and I didn't have one, so now I do. Then we got another sticker. Stay strapped or get clapped. That's freaking awesome. Then we got this little bag here. Got a little card, politically incorrect, unapologetically American. I love that. Then you got all the information on this side. Really cool little star patch. Good old-fashioned bazooka gum. That's awesome. That brings back memories. Then one of the little green army men. These were my favorite toys growing up as a kid. Been through a lot of wars with these guys.
It's coming right for us!
Alright, then we got the t-shirt. Alright, I'm really digging this shirt. Got the We the People 1776 with the distressed looking flag on there. That's freaking awesome. Then on the arm over here, we got the Grumpy GI Gear logo. Big thanks again to Grumpy GI Gear for sending this out. I will proudly wear this. So make sure you check them out after the video and get yourself a cool shirt. Alright, my little oven is almost heated up. If you want to check out my other video, I have a video on here showing how to make this. So I pretty much got this thing on hinges, and then I have the foam in here. I'm just going to give you a kind of a quick rundown. I really don't want to film while doing this because you got to be kind of quick. You don't want this to cool down before you get a chance to get everything clamped down. So after I get these heated up, I'll put one down there like that. Then the knife will go on like this. You want to get it as centered as you can. And then place the other piece on top. And then you'll shut this and clamp it down. And I just use these little C-clamps here. And I have a little circle drawn out of where they should go, so it's nice even pressure. Alright, let's get this thing pressed and see how it turns out. Alright, got it clamped down and it's been in there for about 10 minutes. Should be cooled off enough. Let's see how it looks. Alright, that formed pretty nicely. Now let's add some of the little eyelets and clamp it together. Alright, now I just have a couple little clamps on here to kind of hold everything in place. Now I'm going to measure out where I want the little eyelets to be. And what I usually do is take the clip here and space it out so you can use this clip to bolt through the eyelets in different variations. Alright, so your little eyelets here, what you want to do is get a drill bit that's the same size. What I did was took a little step drill bit here, put some tape around it up to the point where I don't want to go past. And that is the perfect hole for these eyelets. Alright, it saved you the trouble of all the hammering and the noise and the swear words. Yeah, this tool is super simple to use. You just put this down on something hard surface, and then you're going to want to make sure that little groove in there fits in the rivet here. And then same with this tool, it's got that little dome piece. You just put it on there like that, and hit it with a hammer like it owes you money.
Sir, this isn't gonna look good.
Alright, so now I got the rivets going all the way around. Trim this part out here. You want it to be open just enough for the blade to fit through. And this thing stays in there pretty good. Oh yeah, that thing is not going anywhere. So now I'm going to trim up around these edges here and get as close to these rivets without getting too close to mess them up. And smooth out the edges. Then I can add the pocket clip. Alright, and what I use to trim these edges, I'll just use like some snips like this, or you could use some heavy duty scissors. But you just want to get it as close to this as possible, and then go over it with a Dremel tool. I'll use this guy with a little sanding wheel to smooth out all the edges. Alright, like that, just kind of rough cut around the edges. Now I'm going to round off these corners and smoothen out all these edges. Alright, when you order these EDC belt clips, they'll usually come with like a little rubber washer, and then the screws to attach them. Alright, you got these two little rubber washers, then you have a threaded screw, and then a female part here with the threads in it. I'll start by putting the female threaded part on the back side. So I'll put that in there like that, and then I'll put the rubber washer on. Alright, then I'll put the rubber washer on this side while I'm holding the screw on the other end. Then I got the threaded screw here. I'll grab the clip. Put that in the end there. Start threading it in. Alright, and these are Phillips head. So once I got that, I'll just leave it kind of loose. Then I'll come up here and put the screw in this side and do the same thing. Alright, got the clip on there. It's perfect, put in your pocket. And you can reach in there and there's still room to grab the knife out if you need to. Alright, I think it turned out pretty good. Got that clip on there. I like how there's a perfect amount of room for your hand to pull the knife out. And since my knives are high carbon steel, I always send along a little bottle of some oil. Keep up with maintenance on the blade. Alright, well, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps out. Subscribe if you haven't. And I'll see you on the next one.